Welcome to the Coast to Coast podcast, brought to you by Play Picks and the Lines, coming to you from the West Coast. Josh Lander, joined by my guy Nate Weitzer on the East Coast. And we are looking at a pretty full Monday night slate here on January the 3rd, 2022. Make sure you do check out Nate's great article up on playpicks.com with some of those best bets and player props. And like and subscribe to that page, as we've got a couple other videos up for you today, including that player props video we love to bring you each and every weekday. And we do, in this one, we are looking at the Atlanta Hawks taking on a Portland Trail Blazers team that looks like they don't really want to play basketball anymore, and they will be without Dame Lillard tonight. So we'll take a look at some of those betting angles. And as always, if you do still need a FanDuel or DraftKings account, head to fdpicks.com or dkpicks.com and find those listings in your area, such as what we've got for tonight. Nate, let's get into those lines.
Yeah, the Hawks I saw last night around -4. It's only -6 now after Damian Lillard has been ruled out with that abdomen injury. Blazers are missing a few other key guys due to protocol, so it's interesting that the spread is that small at this juncture. We're going to whip around the league here, though, looking at the other games. On a big Monday, we got Hornets +2 at the Wizards, Charlotte on a back-to-back there, Rockets +13 at the 76ers. The Grizzlies are +6 right now at Brooklyn. That total has dropped about 10 points from 218 to 228. So we're going to break that one down in a separate episode. It'll be interesting to look at that. Magic are +14 at the Red Hot Bulls. The Jazz -10 at the Pelicans. We're probably going to be without Joe Val in addition to Brandon Ingram tonight. Pistons +16 at the Bucks. The Nuggets are +3 at the Mavericks, who got Luka back over the weekend. Heat +10 at Warriors. They're missing a lot of guys. The Warriors have everybody out of protocol now. And then the Wolves, still likely without Cat and D'Angelo Russell, are +4 at those pesky Clippers. The Hawks, for 3 games now, have had Trae Young back. And tonight they get a lot of guys back. They've had 12 guys in protocol for weeks now, but DeLon Wright, TLC, Kevin Huerter, Okongwu, and Gallinari are the notable names that are coming out of protocol tonight. They still will have no John Collins, Bogdanovich, or Gorgie Dang, and Cam Reddish is probable with an ankle issue, but they're going to be, very well stocked offensively, have a lot more depth than Portland, which has already ruled out Damian Lillard. CJ McCollum not playing on the trading block, basically. They have no use of Nurkic, which has really hurt their defense. No Cody Zeller to back him up. Robert Covington is still a question mark. And Anthony Simons now, who would be the go-to offensive player without Lillard, I suppose, is out in protocol. So now we're looking at Norm Powell, Ben McLemore, and Dennis Smith Jr. off the bench in terms of trying to keep pace with this Hawks team. That's really been on fire since Trae came back offensively. Number 4 offensive rating, number 1 assist to turnover ratio, number 3 3-point percentage in 3 games with him back. Posted a 130 offensive rating to beat the Cavs last time out. Got into 2 shootouts with the Bulls and could not win those, but we're talking all 3 games going well over. I think it's skewed that their defensive rating is second worst in the league because they played the Bulls twice, who have the number 1 offensive rating. Initially, I would be all over and over in this game because Portland is just giving up a ton of points as well. But with Dame out, their offensive rating plummets, right, to 101 versus, they were putting up some pretty good numbers in their last 3 offensively. But they are the worst defensive team in that span, a 133 defensive rating, the -22 net rating to lead the NBA in that dubious category. Just gave up 139 to a struggling Lakers team. And as you mentioned, it's just that they don't really want to play for each other. You talk a lot about teams that love each other, that want to play hard for each other, that have something to fight for. And Portland is just the absolute opposite. It's been a dumpster fire for months now, to the point that Dame is sitting out just to rest his nagging injury, and that CJ, who's been cleared medically to come back, is still not coming back, as they just kind of wait for the GM to decide how he's going to dissect this and blow it up. So it's easy to just target a team that doesn't necessarily want to go out there and give their best effort every night. I mean, the backups will, sure. So I'm a little bit worried about a 6-point spread. Maybe we'd look at teasing it with another game here on the full slate, but Atlanta should absolutely win this game. There's a lot of good money line parlays you can get with that. And I would start with their team total at 116. The way Portland's been coughing up points at home, 119.4 in their last 8 home games, while losing 7 of those, allowing opponents to shoot 50% from the field. So you got to like Atlanta to stay hot offensively in this one.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, Portland with no D can't play defense. They haven't been able to, and now they can't play offense either because when you have a team that's based on 2 tiny scoring guards in your backcourt, you pair them with 6'4", 6'3" Norman Powell playing. They just don't have any defense anywhere. Now you take Nurk out. We know what their defensive rating is. When Nurk is not in the lineup, it just jumps even higher than it already is. When he's on the floor, I mean, their defensive rating actually drops a little bit. I mean, back down to a respectable 110. And when he's off, it's all the way up to about 120, which is what they've been giving up in 60 minutes in their last, as you mentioned, 3 home games. When you give up that many points to the Dallas Mavericks, who can't put together an offense to save their life without Luka in the game, you're in trouble. And they were scoring with or without Luka. So in this one, once again, the Hawks, I think if you want to try to get ahead of what happened last season, right? Last season, I believe they're about 7 games below 500 heading into the All-Star break. This seems like a nice little turnaround time for them as well after they beat a Cavs team the other night that was shorthanded, but they were underdogs in that game and they were missing a ton of their players. Now they've got everybody back. But before I start touching that total, the Hawks are the pick in this game for sure. Even though it's gone up to 6, the Portland Trailblazers don't have anybody that I recognize to be able to carry a team to where they are. You're relying on Dennis Smith Jr. at this point, Ben McLemore, as you said as well. It's not an offense that I feel comfortable betting on at all. I would consider going under their 109.5. To be honest, I'm not sure who's going to score for them, but more importantly, what we know is going to happen in this game is Atlanta's going to be able to score. That's what everybody can do. So. What Atlanta's defense should be a ton better, getting all their guys back, including Herter. Obviously Bogey's back now, Cam Reddish even, and now that John Collins, Clint Capella, and Trae Young are all there. You've got to like their defense to be a little bit better, but also feel really good about them getting 115.5, as you said. Those road numbers for them, despite how bad they've been playing lately, winning on the road as of late, 7-2 against the spread in their last 9, and still maintaining their offensive rating, and that's another trend that we could probably see tonight, that I think we will see tonight, is the Hawks able to score. I don't know that their defense will get much better, but we know they will be able to score. So hammering that 115.5 that I see on FanDuel for their team total feels really good. If you want to go ahead and just parlay that with their line there, about six points now, you can still get about plus 200 on your money there as well. So I would consider all of those, even that same game, because this one feels like there's a ton of angles to take advantage of the Hawks scoring points and winning this one. Yeah,
and I think the Hawks are still bad enough defensively, or just won't take this Blazers team seriously enough to allow it to kind of devolve into a shootout where they score, in the 130s, and then the Blazers score enough to get this over. So I don't think it's off the table to consider that. And the Blazers, usually when they have Dame Lillard, though, are 9-0 to the over when they have a rest advantage, or 6-0 when they have at least 2 days rest. But the key trend that I would hone in on here, based on who's out, is that they don't win unexpected games. They're 1-11 straight up as underdogs, and that includes 0-3 at home. That's 2-10 against the spread. So they're not even playing teams close that often. We often throw caution about taking a stars out and then assuming that the team's going to come out flat. But Portland, because of the reasons we mentioned, just does not have that much fight in them. And Atlanta, like you said, they're starting to turn a corner. Played amazing offensive basketball in their last game in Cleveland, a 23-2 assist to turnover ratio. It's just unheard of. They also allow the highest assist to turnover ratio this season, and the 20th, the 10th most 3-pointers made. So, but they're facing a Portland team that has been far, far worse defensively. Atlanta's really turning it around on the road, which is strange after the way they started. They're strangely 0-7 in their last 7 home games, but 7-2 against the spread their last 9 on the road. And 6 of those 9 games have gone over because they're lighting it up so much. Bogdanovich not back, but yes, with Trae Young, with Cam Reddish, and with a couple of those guys like Herter getting back in the mix, playing limited minutes. I expect their offense to keep rolling. And the key thing is Clint Capella looking like the Clint Capella of last year with 18 and 23 against the Cavs there. So we talked about just, honing in on the player props with Young and Capella in that game. And you got to feel great about it again here with no defense in the middle for Portland to just say Clint Capella double in a win, his props and taking that all over.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, definitely looking at both Trey and Clint still in this game. Yeah, I was actually thinking of the other Bogdanovic, who stay tuned for that player props video, as that's who I'll probably be looking at there, and still had him on my mind. But Bogdan Bogdanovic of the Atlanta Hawks is out tonight. Another reason, once again, if you're looking at some player props, I would consider both Clint and Trey my two favorite. Trey Young, double. I do like him to get those 10 assists, is plus 144, or Clint Capella, 15 points and a win. Is plus 215 if you do like Trey to get those assists, as I do, without Nurkic in the middle to do anything. With Clint Capella, I've got to like Clint Capella rolling to the rim, getting offensive rebounds as well. So those 15 points getting you plus 215 feels good. Trey plus 144 on your money there for a double for him. Love those 10 plus assists for him as well, and that seems to be the most juice to bet on that. So that is all the time we have in this one. Make sure you are liked and subscribed to that page. Check out the other couple videos we have for you on this big Monday night slate. And until we see you next, happy betting.